If anyone could further deepen the political crisis in France after the fall of the government and the rejection of the budget bill, it is only him. Last night, French President Emmanuel Macron delivered an address that infuriated his compatriots.
Je n'assumerai jamais l'irresponsabilité des autres.
I will never take the blame for the lack of responsibility of others, and notably lawmakers who chose knowingly to bring down the budget and the government of France a few days before Christmas. The mandate you democratically gave me is a 5-year mandate, and I will carry it out fully until the end. What's more, Emmanuel Macron put part of the blame for the chaos of the country he governs on ordinary people. President Macron just said that it's not his fault, that everything he's doing is overall good, and added that it's also our fault that we voted, we citizens, for the so-called extreme parties. So it's not his fault. It's the fault of Michel Barnier's government. It's the fault of the so-called extreme parties and the fault of the citizens. Macron seems to have forgotten how he contrived during the June and July parliamentary elections. He withdrew his own candidates in favor of the left, only to stop the march to power of the right-wing National Rally led by Marine Le Pen. These artificial moves reverse the will of the people, and today, France is in chaos. I think Macron has a serious problem that he doesn't understand. He doesn't realize the seriousness of the situation. He doesn't understand what kind of crisis we are facing in our country. The vote on next year's budget was lost. Michel Barnier's government collapsed. There is no majority in parliament to support the new prime minister. For the sake of the people, there was no choice but to vote against this government, because this government was working against the people. I regret that it ended this way, but it could have been different if the government had looked out for the interests of the people. Macron is expected to propose a new candidate for the prime minister soon. France must pass a budget because the country could become paralyzed. I will appoint a new prime minister, who first of all will have to introduce a law that will allow the country to function. This must be done before the middle of December. People are furious at the president's arrogance and his series of misguided decisions. We are left to fight in the streets because this is what these authorities are forcing us to do. People are already mobilizing. The situation in the country is terrible, for example, in the healthcare, which is underfunded. French people can't cope with inflation and unemployment, and they say there are no prospects for the future under Macron's rule. I'm horrified and angry. This is not how it was supposed to go. I expect Macron to take responsibility because people don't know what's going on in the country. Rioting in the streets, a rebellion of illegal immigrants brought in en masse, stores looted, cars set on fire. This is the daily reality that ordinary French citizens have to live with. And on top of that, the country is facing the biggest political crisis in more than 60 years. Macron is not able to provide neither material stability, nor security on the streets, nor cultural security, nor material security, nor physical security to the French people today. And indeed, he has even lower support today than ever before. Only a dozen to 20% of French people perceive him positively, and he has nothing to offer today. His rule has plunged France, and a way out of this crisis is not in sight.